However, I am going to just buy now because, as you can see, I do have market credits. No point in me, overspending on the account. So I'm going to pick him up. Now the reason I put him up for sale at £7.50. Because we did buy him for £3, I believe. I'll be honest, boys. I pretty much have sold absolutely everything to get. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Almiron's Army, the community Sorare series that we run here on the channel. And of course, the European season is ending, so a few of you have got in contact with me letting me know that you are going to get involved in the series, which is what we absolutely love to see. Of course, the MLS will be keeping us entertained over the summer. In the video today, we have injury news, and we also have disallowed goal drama. So yeah, it's going to be a fun packed one. Make sure you stay tuned all the way to the end. Remember to leave a like. It does really help the channel and of course helps in the algorithm push to new users. With that being said, if you are a new user, please subscribe. Of course, and yeah, let's get on with the video today. Where do we get started this game week? Well, of course, in the last episode, you did see MDK did build our lineups for us, and unfortunately, it wouldn't have mattered too much because, of course, Almiron did actually blank again this game week, but it doesn't come without its dramas. Of course, I believe he did actually score, but the goal got disallowed, which is a bit unfortunate, and he only scored himself 47 points, which isn't the end of the world. You know, it's not a completely terrible score. He's got the AA there. Just, we miss them dark green days, don't we, boys? But yeah, you know what? It is what it is. With that being said, let's have a little look at how the squads got on then. So this was our first team, of course, you saw in the last episode. And yeah, when your captain's only getting 47, it kind of, I guess, kills the vibe of the rest of the squad, really, because even if they all score unreal, you're not going to get a crazy return. With that being said, Zinc did not perform the best, which is a little bit unfortunate considering he was at home, but Cincinnati are a decent team, so that's okay. Hollingshed conceding 3 is kind of butchered his score a little bit. And yeah, goalkeeper got a clean sheet, which is fantastic because, of course, that adds an extra £1 to our rules, or to our budget, should we say. So shout out Lund for that one, and Arthur or Arthur with some really good AA and what we expect. So all in all, the goalkeeper done his job. Arthur done his job as well, just the rest lacking a little bit, but we did manage to stay into Division 1, so we can't complain too much. And then looking at our third team, and yeah, we sort of said this, we said this going into the video last episode. As you guys saw, we were pretty sure Daniel wasn't going to play, and of course, it didn't. Shappy in the same lineup. This lineup was always kind of destined to fail. With that being said, though, Shappy has picked up an assist, so that does get us an additional £1 towards the budget, which will be, gladly welcomed. And Tolo scoring 60 is a little bit annoying because, like I said in the last video, I would have personally put him in the first team, but MDK decided to go with Hollingshed, and of course we were going to go with his call. And it looks like, yeah, in total, this team, just not really much to write home about other than a Shappy assist, really, and Daniel not starting, of course. So he got a concussion, so I believe he will be out potentially for another game week, which is a little bit annoying, and moves us on nicely to our classic team, which includes another injury drama in Bruno Wilson, and obviously didn't play because he was injured, and it kind of shows with the score, doesn't it? Conceding 5. They missed their defense this game, which is a bit unfortunate for San Jose, but yeah, generally speaking, not the best from the defence. And of course, Vitor Costa is another player we have in this series, but didn't score very well, which is not good because it means that he potentially could get replaced he could lose his starting spot. Of course, he is kind of competing for it at the moment. So yeah, I guess they're the two I guess bad parts of the gallery this game week, but a very good part is Timothy Tillman, who played a very good game, and of course we have not utilised him in the best of lineups here, but the potential was there, this week. The potential was there, we just didn't manage to get the squads right. With that being said, no matter where we went, of course we would have captained Almiron, so we can't be too harsh, because even if we had Tillman in the first team and we had Tolo in the first team instead of Hollingshed, we might have, picked up some essence, maybe a cheeky $5, but it wouldn't have been much more because, of course, Almiron didn't do too fantastic. So it is what it is. Of course, we learn from this, we take it on into the next game week, and yeah, with that being said, we of course didn't have any other decisives to add. So our budget for this week is £9.14, and of course, as we did touch upon in the last episode, I did say I really want to focus. So as you can see there, annoyingly, my mic or my headset just decided to cut off and just cut all my audio, and I continue yapping about the thoughts and ideas for another 5 minutes or so, but I honestly can't really remember what I said. So to sum it up briefly, like I was touching upon last episode, we do really want to make advancements on in-season goalkeepers, and I did actually have a look at Daniel, his in-season card, in the recording or whatever, and yeah, I did actually go, wow. I mean, this is not really a genuine reaction anymore because I'm obviously re-recording this part. But yeah, I was surprised how cheap this Daniel is, and I was interested to try and get a Daniel deal over the line. However, the problem is, let's just say I went and picked up this Daniel now for £9, pretty much the budget of the series. The problem I then have is that I have 3 Daniels, which is never a great idea, really. So I'm in a bit of a predicament where I could potentially just pick up this one for £7.50 or whatever, and just have an in-season goalkeeper, which is good for streaks. Or I could try and trade my classic Daniels and knock off some of the price, although it'd be quite hard to find someone that would do that. So yeah, that's another sort of avenue we might have to explore. But with that being said, I think Daniel might be missing the next game as well. Therefore, potentially his price is going to maybe go cheaper than this. I don't think so, but yeah, pretty much our decision to make between now and, I guess, the lineup building phase is whether or not we want to go in for this in-season Daniel, and how much of the budget can we save doing that, if that makes sense. I think that's probably the most logical next steps in Almiron's army, to be honest. And yeah, I did sort of say, I guess, well, in the first set of the first time I recorded this, I was just talking about how yeah, he might not play, so his price, we don't know. Of course, I can't really offer, I can't throw out any offers just yet, because the deadline of the game week hasn't come to an end, so I can't, say for example here, I can't offer this guy say both of my classic Daniels, because they're still in a lineup. But yeah, potentially we could look to sell, maybe get a trade of both of our Daniels, and maybe I don't know, £3 or £4 or whatever, for an in-season one, and then we would have, yeah, I don't know. We'll work it out, of course. That is something we're going to be doing, I guess, as the week goes on. Let's see if we can get our Daniel deal over the line. Yes, now boys, we have a fantastic opportunity for those of you guys that do become members on the channel in April. I will be giving away one MLS in-season stack built by yours truly. How you become a member on the channel is click the join button down below. You can see all the exclusive perks to becoming a member alongside being entered into the giveaway this month. Okay, so I've come to a conclusion for our Daniel dilemma, and I really do want to pick him up for a price like this. Now I will say I am going to record it as if I purchased this one for £7.44. However, I am going to just buy now because, as you can see, I do have market credits. No point in me, overspending on the account. So I'm going to pick him up with the market credits for £4 or whatever. But we will still just treat it as if it cost us £7.44. So we will take that off of our budget. So minus £7.44. There we go. So we have £1.70 left to play with, and I'm gonna attempt. Gonna be quite hard, but I'm gonna attempt to potentially trade both of our classic Daniels and, fingers crossed, £1.70 for another in-season Daniel. I think that's going to be a bit too much to ask, but what's the saying? God loves a try, eh? So it is the midweek, and I've sort of been messing around a little bit with the lineups and what I want to do in the series, and sort of really trying to work out the strategy for this one. And I think obviously our Daniel situation is a bit unfortunate because he's still injured, but in a way it's actually kind of benefited us because I think it might actually be a good strategy to obviously buy. Well, I mean, it's a good thing for us because obviously we can pick up the in season now for cheaper because people are selling him. But at the same time, we just in the last episode and this episode we're just really lacking players to use pretty much because obviously we have so many Daniels, which is a bit unfortunate, but yeah, pretty much going forward. So I built this sort of preliminary sketch of lineups, and I was just sort of sitting here looking at it, and I thought, you know what, I might try and sell Arston for another in-season Daniel, because now the reason I put him up for sale at £7.50, because we did buy him for £3, I believe. Yeah, £3.70. And that's pretty much 2x what we paid for him, and we can get an in-season goalkeeper, which we probably need a little bit more than an in-season forward. And then obviously we can play Zinc where Arston is, and then we'll probably throw in Arthur into the main lineup. And if you're wondering why I can't really play Hollingshed and Tillman, it's because they play against the goalkeeper. So yeah, pretty much this week it just the players kind of clash against each other. So I'm thinking, yeah, we might, because although it will suck for this week because obviously then we'll have 4 Daniels on the account. I think in the long run it might hugely benefit the series. With that being said as well, I'm tempted to cancel the classic goalkeeper listings and just wait for him to come back from injury, and then hopefully he sells for maybe £2 or a little bit more. So yeah, I think I'm actually going to cancel the Daniel, because the reason I listed the Daniels was to fund another in-season Daniel. But my thought process is go all in on Daniel, pray that he only plays. Don't get me wrong, this is very, very risky. This is very risky. I will then have 4 of the same player in a budget series. It could go terribly wrong, but it could also go very right, because then we could have 2 in-season goalkeepers on the series. So yeah, I'm thinking sell Austin, get another in-season Daniel hopefully, and then pretty much just build the squads with what we have. And then when Daniel comes back from injury, sell the 2 classic Daniels in the hype. Hopefully get, even if we can get £4 for both of them, maybe £5 for both of them, we'll take that. And then obviously we can use the £5, in theory, the £5 from them, to then again bolster up maybe the forward options.
don't know if we would get another Arsenal or not. I'm not too sure, but yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But ultimately, it would mean we just have more in-season goalkeepers, which is definitely what we want, because we can go for hot streaks and things like that, and play more in-season. And that's the thing. Ideally, I don't really want to be playing a classic. Like, I don't want to be playing in classic anymore. It's way too competitive. So I'm trying to get all of these to the in-season bracket. So yeah, that's an update from the midweek stuff. And yeah, we're just really pushing to attempt to sell Arvston. Although I think the market is quite quiet at the moment, so I don't really know if he will sell, but we'll try, and then yeah, we'll see how it goes. Are you looking to become a Sorare manager? If so, I would really appreciate if you use the link down below in the description to sign up, because you'll be helping out a small creator like myself. And also the benefit that you guys get from that is if you buy 5 cards from the auction house or the instant buy market, then you'll receive £50 in-game credits. So we are coming to the end of the week now, and I'll be honest, boys, I pretty much have sold absolutely everything to get Daniel on a good deal. Of course, I know, like I said, pretty risky, but we have decided to sell Max Darvston. We just gave him to Santonio for £6.34. And the reason I've done that is because I worked out that £6.34. I worked out that that would give us £8.04. Unfortunately, a good friend of the channel, Cody, he had a in-season Daniel that he was more than happy for us to offer him £8.04 for. So shout out him. And yeah, we picked up that Daniel for the series for everything we had left, pretty much. So which we'll absolutely take, because obviously he's injured and he's probably not going to play this game week. But I just want that's the reason I'm wanting to get them in now, is because they're going to be cheap. So what's happened then? So we pretty much have gained another Daniel, which is fantastic. That means we do have a lot of goalkeepers and 4 Daniels in the series, and we have lost Arvston. And of course, I guess in the next season, well, yeah, I guess in the next episode, or this week, I guess we're gonna try and sell both of our classic Daniels, so we just have 2 in-season Daniels, if that makes sense. But yeah, that is pretty much all the business for this week. I'm gonna go ahead and list my classic Daniels as well, just so I remember to do it. I don't really know how much I'll want for him, to be honest. Maybe like so obviously right now it's cheap because he's not playing. But I think I'm just going to chuck them both up for £2.50. And obviously I know right now he is very cheap, but I anticipate when he is back from his injury, maybe he goes back up in price. But anyway, yeah, so I'm going to list them for £2.50, and then obviously as the week goes on, if he doesn't sell, then I'll probably list them for a little bit more. But that should give us about £5 in total for the series, and hopefully we get decisives this weekend. And yeah, let's build them lineups. So just as I've gone to build the lineups this week, I've been notified with this message, and Sorare Data really has it's done now, really, isn't it? They've got, they've pretty Sorare's pretty much just bought them out and added all of their good concepts to their site, so we don't really need Sorare Data as much anymore, which is, I guess, a good thing for us because everything is all in one platform. But yeah, maybe we could we can sort of test that out on video now. If it's in the game, I don't know if it's in the game yet, but yeah, I've already built, of course, the lineups for this week with again some good help from MDK again, which is great. And we're going to go into Division 1 here, and I don't know how the suggested... Oh, I'm not too sure how the suggested thing works, but anyway, I pretty much know the lineup. I'm going to go with Ben Lund in goal, with Tolo in defence. You can see here we've pretty much got the lineups already sorted, so just using that as a reference point, with Almiron, of course. Lots of XP on this one as well, so hopefully he does well, with Zinc and I believe Tillman to round off the squad. Now I will say that of course Tillman is playing against the goalkeeper, which is never ideal, but Ben Lund is the only goalkeeper here that is pretty much going to start. With that being said, I do think Berkey is back shortly, but we can't really afford to sell Lund because then we don't have any goalkeeper really. Because I don't think Daniel will start this weekend, but that's okay. Hopefully in next episode or next week he starts, and we've got 2 in-season keepers then. So we're going to do one more in-season team, but just put it into Division 3 because of course Daniel is unlikely to be playing. So we'll pop our 8% Daniel in here with Hollingshed. Who did Angulu, Almiron, and Arthur. We'll just double check that is correct. Hollingshed, Arthur, yeah, there we go. Brilliant. So that is our second in-season team. Of course, I personally don't think Daniel will start. It does say 70%. So if he does, then brilliant. Then we've actually got a team that is going for the hot streak, our first ever attempt at a hot streak. But like I said, I don't think the keeper will be playing. And then yeah, I think that the last team, although saying that, actually this team could go into in-season now because although I don't think Bruno Wilson's going to play either, so is it smart to potentially put this one into Division 2? Will it survive? Will it get relegated? Oh, I don't know actually. You know what? I'm actually going to go ahead and just put them all into in-season now. So we're going to put this one into Division 2. If it gets relegated, it gets relegated. It is what it is. I don't mind too much. The fixtures are pretty favourable for these boys, so yeah, like I said, I don't think that Daniel will play, but if he does, then this team in Division 2 might be able to get us something. And then the last team, again, Daniel, Bruno Wilson, again, who's very unlikely to play. So we're just hoping for anything. And again, even Vitor Costa, unlikely to play. So yeah, with this one, of course, we're just praying for a decisive, so it helps with the budget. But yeah, that's how the teams line up then for this week, and we can actually go ahead and I think we only have Berkey and the goalkeepers. Yeah, Berkey and the goalkeepers. So we can do a warm up with Berkey. Again, Berkey not going to play, but we might as well throw together a lineup. Because why not? Why not? We'll probably put Messi in here. He's only 60%, but he's just too good, isn't he? Ajida could be a good one. Evander, yeah, Evander's. I'm just gonna put all the hitters in here, and if they don't hit, then that's fine. This is probably like quite a popular stack, most likely, but I'm just gonna go with that because I can't bother to work out. I might change the warm up. Obviously, I don't really need to put it in the video because it's not really that important really, but yeah, these lineups should stay how they are. Of course, like I said, starting team is looking good. Middle team probably not because Daniel might not play, and the third team pretty much the same thing, especially with Bruno Wilson. I think he's well, I actually don't know I can't remember what's happened with Bruno Wilson, but I think he picked up. Well, I know he's injured, but I don't know how long for. I haven't read into it too much. And even Vitor Costa's always a bit of a flip of a coin, to be honest. So yeah, third team unlikely to do well. Middle team, just not relegation would be good, and then first team hopefully it gets the business done. Obviously you have to come back next week to find out. So there you have it then, boys. There's Almiron's army wrapped up for another week. Really enjoying our MLS journey, and of course it's going to get only bigger and better over the summer. So yeah, hopefully Daniel doesn't disappoint us too much because we've got a lot riding on him right now, and it could drastically change the series if he was to, maybe pick up a longer injury or something like that. So we need to probably get out of some of them Daniel investments. 4 is not ideal on a budget account, but yeah, anyway, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, please remember to leave a like. It does really help the channel. Of course, subscribe if you're new, and we'll catch you guys in a future video. Peace.